Good morning, multipliers. It's good to be back with you guys. It has been an incredibly stressful time for me. Not incredibly stressful, but a very busy time, I guess would be a better way to put it. So I want to take an episode to debrief, fill you in on what's going on, and talk about dreams. So I started my job at Expedia, which is, if you don't know, is one of the world's largest travel site. And so I work there as a sales agent. It's called a reservation specialist technically, but I'm working there, really enjoying it. It's a good job, but my shift is like 3 to midnight, so I'm gone most of the night, which was when me and Judah usually shot. And there's just all these things. I know Judah kind of told you guys about it yesterday, but just coming from me basically. And so, here's the thing. I was sitting here, and then on top of that, church, family stuff, my dad's health situations. I had oral surgery last week to get a tooth that was messed up fixed and taken out, and they'd put me under, and it was a whole bunch of stuff. So I had a lot going on. But as I was doing it, I was thinking about what God had a purpose for my life. What was the purpose of what I'm supposed to be doing in my life? What am I doing here? And I have this job that I really like. I think it's a good job. Now it's a learning curve. There's stuff I'm still taking in. Not to say that, but it's still, it's a whole new spectrum. And so I'm sitting here thinking about what all this is and what I want to do with my life. I'm like, okay, well, I enjoy this, but I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I know that. And I feel like I know God's called me to do something like multimedia. I think multimedia is that. But I got discouraged. And I don't know if you guys could tell that in the last, especially several weeks of videos we've been putting out before we had a little bit of break here, the kind of discouragement that I was going through. And maybe you're in a similar situation where, you're sitting here and you hear the promises of God. And we hear, that God says He won't, that His word won't come up void, that all these things we know His promises, but it's sometimes difficult to be waiting for those promises, to wait for them to come to fruition. And I talked about this a lot. There's been several points during this journey of multimedia where I've wanted to give up. And I really contemplated it. I told Judah one night just before we stopped, I was like, Judah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And, I had this number. I felt like God told me we were going to be at by the end of the year. And you know what? I still have faith it's going to happen. But it feels so far away. And it feels like I'm a failure. And sometimes it feels like we're a failure when we're following God because we have our expectations, we have our times, and we think we're supposed to reach there in this moment. And right now, my job at Expedia, so I come in and I'm not trying to be a cocky person in this statement at all. I'm just trying to explain my situation and hopefully how it relates to this. And that's that. Okay, so I like sales. I really enjoy it actually. It's something I excel in. I really, really enjoy. And so I went to this job at Expedia and I had such high excitement to achieve and to go in and be like the best of the best. And I was like, let's do it. And I've gotten there and my first few nights here actually getting into it haven't been that great. And traditionally, not traditionally, but with the other sales jobs I've taken, I've stepped in and done well, usually pretty fast. And so it's like this whole moment of like, man, it's not happening. Did I make a mistake? Am I not good? Am I not this? And you know what? I wanted it to happen in my time. I don't want to take the time to learn more. I want it just to happen. And so many of us are the same way. We want to have that natural just happening. And when it doesn't, we get discouraged. Discouragement's real. It's hard. And when you're sitting there and you are so hungry for something, those first moments when you're a Christian, those first days and weeks, hours when you're a Christian, you're so hungry, you're like, let's do it. And then reality seeps in to an extent. We seep in and we see the people around us. We see the state of the church. We see the state of the world and that it's not easy. And we start to wean and wind down and kind of shrug into ourselves. And just like, before you know it, we don't even want to talk about the fact that we're a Christian. We don't even want to deal with it. And we're completely back to the old habits. The reason being is because, we get caught up, like I said, in our time and our times of success. But success is not determined by me. Success for yourself is not determined by you. Now, you determine your attitude in there. You determine, am I going to be a positive person and keep moving towards this, even though it's not working in the sense that I want it to work, and trust that God's working for the end game. That's the decision we have to make. There's not really multiple choices here. You follow God or you give up. You follow God or you give up. There's not another option. you know? And there's not half doing it like I'll half. You have to go all in or nothing. There is no other option. Zero, zilch, nada. This is it. You're following God. You got a chance to do something great. But it's whether you choose to do it or not. And I had that decision. And you know what? I've had to force myself. These last several days, I was just so tired. I didn't feel like doing it. And I was like, I was up to like 2 a.m. and I didn't sleep well and like all these things. And now I've got to get up and I've got to shoot this video before I go to work. And I'm just tired. I want to just, veg out for a little bit. But I have to dictate to go in tonight. I'm shooting this it is at this time, just to put it is 12:30 at night, and I'm shooting this video because it's important, because I feel like God called me to do this. I trust that God is behind me every step of the way, because it says in Psalm 37, the steps of a godly man are ordered by the Father. And though he may fall, he will not fall headlong, because his hand is there to catch him. We are walking, if we walk in God's grace, if we are following his heart, God says our steps are ordered. This isn't by accident where you're at in your life. It's a matter of whether you make a decision to make your attitude towards doing it. Take yourself and say, I'm going to buckle down. My relationship with Christ is going to take a much higher importance in my life. It is not going to take second place, third place, or for many of us, it's not on the podium. It's not in the top 10. It's not in the top 50. Some of us, it's so far down there. We know it. We think to ourselves, man, I need to do more. But you know what? I just don't. Productive people, productive Christians, there's not the point where you say, like, I don't have time to have a quiet time. I don't have time to do that. Guess what, guys? You have time to play video games, possibly, to watch TV. You got time to hang out with friends. You've got times to do all these other things besides have a relationship with God. And I'm telling you what, God needs to be number one. So if you've got time for 4 hours of TV, carve out 15 minutes for your relationship with God. Seriously, seriously, carve out the time to do it. Because if you don't, there's never going to be enough time. It's a point of emphasis. It's a point of, if you feel like God's telling you to do something today, do it. And guess what? Don't expect that the day you step up, it's like if I felt like God was calling me to be a Major League Baseball player. I've never even played baseball. I played kiddie ball in like first grade, and I wasn't very good at it, if I remember correctly. That was it, right? So if I was to say I feel like God's called me to be a Major League Baseball player, guess what I've got to do? I've got to do so much work. I've got to learn baseball, for goodness sake. I mean, I know a little bit, but not enough. I've got so much work. It's not like one day I'm going to wake up and be like, all right, God, I'm going to the Major Leagues. Let's do this. And I go to the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm like, guys, I'm here. Sign me for a contract. Let's do this thing. No, they're going to laugh at me. They're going to say, there's the door. Over there, right over there. That's what they're going to tell me. And the same thing, if you feel like God's telling you to be a missionary, it's not like you're going to wake up and all the things are going to fall into place necessarily for you to be a missionary. No, you have to work at it. I feel called to be in full-time ministry. Guys, I have not been in full-time ministry for 6 years. I've had to do multiples. I've been in churches where I don't necessarily agree with everything. I've had a lot of other struggles. But guess what? I keep moving forward. I don't get to dictate where I'm at in my life. I just get to dictate how I do it. That's my challenge to you guys today. I've rambled enough. Do you have an opportunity to follow Christ or not to? To say, God, I give up, to have a bad attitude about it, or say, God, I'm going to trust you, I'm going to follow you when it's not easy. And trust me, I am preaching to myself here. I am speaking to myself 100%, because, guys, this is where I've been. This is why there hasn't been a video for 2 weeks before this point. This is why, because I struggle with my perception, my dreams, and where I want to be versus where God's leading me. It's a difficult place to be, but it's a place that you can recover. It's a place that we can say, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong, and I'm going to do something different. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's it in closing. I appreciate this. Was just like a focus, like, what's up, guys, hangout video. But we'll be back tomorrow with something else, maybe something fun. I'm not sure. We're working on it. But, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like what we do here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. Let us know that you enjoyed it. And, guys, we will be back tomorrow with some more stuff. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it. As always, I'm Dan. God bless, and we'll see you next time.